Greetings, my name is Kimberly Fowler Carter, and this video is being recorded and submitted for the scholarship application. Question number 1 is, how will your graduate studies contribute to improving educational outcomes for Black students in Georgia? Well, currently I'm pursuing a Tier 1 Educational Leadership Certification to equip me with the tools to transform instructional practices and foster inclusive, high-performing school cultures. As a literacy instructional coach in a Title I school, I see firsthand the systemic challenges our African American students face, particularly in reading achievement. My graduate studies will empower me to dismantle barriers at the school leadership level, advocate for equity-focused policies, and implement evidence-based strategies that directly impact the literacy and academic growth of Black students across Georgia. Question number 2, describe your leadership experience and how you plan to use your advanced degree to influence educational policy or practice. Before I became a teacher or moved into the space of education, I was an operations manager for Wachovia Bank for 12 years. And when Wachovia folded, that is what preempted or gave me an opportunity to sit and reflect on what was I giving back to society? What was I giving back to students like me who may have grown up in a high poverty environment? So I landed in the space of education, and I went through the University of Florida's teacher education program, specifically the Urban Elementary Apprenticeship Program. I was blessed to be one of 15 recipients to complete that program out of over thousands of applicants. So that was amazing in of itself. But that is how I got into the space of education. I started out with the intention of supporting students in, specifically African American students in high poverty environments in the Jacksonville area. And I have since transitioned in 2018 to Atlanta, where I spent 3 years in Fulton County before transitioning over to Atlanta Public Schools, where I did 3 years as an ELA and social studies content support specialist until last year. And then I entered the literacy instructional coaches role at the beginning of this school year. But as an ELA and social studies content support specialist, I have led district-wide professional development, designed culturally responsive curriculum resources. I've coached teachers across Atlanta Public Schools to improve classroom instruction, specifically around the area of the science of reading. I've become dyslexia endorsed. I am reading endorsed. I eat, drink, sleep, and breathe all things literacy. But my goal with the Tier 1 certification piece is to step into a school or district leadership role where I can scale these efforts, shaping policies that support equity in literacy instruction, teacher development, and resource allocation, particularly for historically underserved Black students. Question 3. What specific research or focus area do you plan to pursue, and how does it align with ABSE's mission? Well, my focus will be on literacy, leadership, and equity, examining specifically how school leaders can disrupt the cycle of reading underachievement among Black students in high poverty schools. This aligns closely with the mission of your organization to strengthen instructional leadership and advocating for systemic improvements that benefit Black students particularly. Through research, I aim to identify actionable leadership practices that close literacy gaps, enhance culturally affirming instruction, and elevate teacher efficacy in urban schools. Question number 4. How do you plan to give back to the ABSE community and mentor future educators? Well, I plan to actively contribute by sharing my research findings, leading workshops, supporting advocacy initiatives that push for equity in Georgia's education system specifically. Additionally, I will mentor emerging educators as I still do. Even though I'm not a instructional content specialist anymore, I still mentor educators at other buildings all across APS, even though it may not be official. But I don't mind taking a phone call from an educator late at night, or on a Saturday, or to sit down and go over lesson plans with them, or strategies, or using their data to plan for small group instruction, and supporting them with appropriate resources, specifically that are aligned with the structured literacy laws in Georgia, so that we can provide continuous support to our struggling readers who are falling through the gaps. So I want to continue to mentor emerging educators, especially Black teachers and aspiring leaders in Title I environments, by continuing to create those collaborative networks and providing coaching on culturally responsive pedagogy and leadership. So my goal ultimately is to foster a pipeline of empowered educators who are equipped to lead transformative change in their communities. I respectfully submit this video as the answer to the 4 narrative questions. And if you have any additional questions about any of the items that I spoke to on the video today or within my application, please do not hesitate to reach out to me using the contact information provided on my application. Thank you so much for the opportunity to apply. And I look forward to hearing from you soon.